Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another of the podcast. I'm your host, Tom Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy motherfucking Monday. Hope you're well. Hope you're chilling. Today is December 11th, 2023. And like I said, this is episode 151. Let's get into it, my friends. So, actually, this is relatively cool because this is the first episode of season 4 of the Music Mondays podcast. So definitely really excited to have like a fresh season. I have like a bunch of fresh ideas that I kind of spoke about last week that we're going to take into 2024. So super excited, but awesome show for you guys tonight planned. You guys know the drill. We're going to talk about some weekly recap stuff, what's coming up on Music Mondays over the next week or so, and get into some reaction and views, my friends. So, let's get right into it. So, let's talk weekly recap stuff. What happened at Music Mondays over the week or so? Let's get into it. So, we kicked off last Monday with a brand new SoundCloud exclusive, actually, by the homie Jaded, a Music Money staff writer and super talented artist. They approached me quite some time ago to get a exclusive kind of rolled out to the Music Money SoundCloud. So huge shout out to Jaded. Definitely go check that out. Show that some love. And much love for letting us host this track, Jaded. But that takes us to I believe Tuesday, which of course, as you guys know, submissions open every Tuesday for the show. If you're ever interested and you're watching the show live, submissions open tomorrow. If you're watching the show on YouTube, submissions are already open, so definitely go check our recent tweets and you should be able to find everything that you know. So let's continue on. Music Mondays radar check number 4 is actually live on all of our social medias. So Music Mondays radar check is actually relatively simple. If you don't know, the Music Mondays radar check is actually something that I came up with not too long ago. Just basically a way for everybody to kind of promote their friends and promote people they think deserve to be on Music Mondays, people they want to see on Music Mondays. So essentially just exactly what it sounds like, checking the radar. And it's an opportunity for you or your friends to tag some homies that Music Mondays should be able to check out. So that's live on all socials. But the Music Mondays podcast episode Music. Oh, okay. No, so we started off on Tuesday. Sorry, I just got a random fucking text message that fucked me all up. So, Music Money's radar check is live on our socials. Definitely go check that out and go show that some love. So that way we rolled into Thursday actually. So, the Music Money's podcast in 2024 YouTube upload is available right now. That got uploaded last Thursday. So if you missed that segment from last week's show, that's available on our channel right now. Definitely go check that out and go show that some love. Um, yeah, that one's really cool because I kind of broke down how we're going to format the Music Mondays podcast in 2024. It's not anything like super crazy, but it's just a little bit of an update for you in terms of how we're going to restructure seasons and things like that on the show. So yeah, that's available right now on the channel. Definitely go show that some love. And huge shout out to everybody that's obviously running up the YouTube uploads. You guys are amazing, man. So thank you for showing those love as well. So yeah, that takes us just about to Friday. So I believe last Friday we actually put out a tweet for new SoundCloud exclusives. So we are on the hunt for brand new Music Monday SoundCloud exclusives. If you're interested in getting a unreleased track hosted on the Music Monday SoundCloud, definitely get in contact with us. We're interested in not only building our SoundCloud archive and library, but we're also very much interested in kind of actually, you know, promoting artists in a different way. So if you have any unreleased tracks that you'd like Music Mondays to host and promote across all of our socials, definitely go check that out and get in contact with us and send us a message because we'd love to have your tracks. Absolutely. So yeah, that takes us to about Friday afternoon. That's where we dropped a brand new article by the homie Jaded. Once again, Jaded had a fantastic week on Music Mondays, man. From a new SoundCloud exclusive on Monday to a written article Friday. It has been doing fantastic. So, yeah, Jaded dropped a brand new interview on Friday, actually. So, definitely go check that out and go show Jaded some love. Like I said, they had a fantastic week. Absolutely. So, let's see here. Pushing forward to Saturday, actually. Episode 150 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on all platforms right now. Wherever you stream the podcast, it's available. So Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff. And of course, it's available on our YouTube channel. So again, definitely go check that out and go show episode 150 some love if you missed it. And huge shout out to everybody that did submit to episode 150. I believe we're one subscriber away from 230. So that's actually really fucking fantastic. Literally one sub away. So, definitely go check out the channel. Go show the channel some love if you like what you see. We do upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good stuff available over there in the channel, man. So definitely go show these artists on the channel some love. But yeah, definitely check out 150 if you missed it. So that was Saturday. We rolled into Sunday with SoundCloud Sunday, volume 112. That is available on our SoundCloud right now. That was curated by me, actually. The Music Monday staff curators are kind of working on a side project right now that will be revealed before 2024. We have a couple of end of the year pieces that we're getting out, so stay tuned because we have a couple members coming up with a lot of like really cool pieces of content for the end of the year. But with that said, this week's SoundCloud Sunday Volume 112 was curated by me. So again, definitely go check that out. Go show that some love, and huge shout out to everybody that submitted to SoundCloud Sunday Volume 112. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Let's see here. So yeah, that takes us to Sunday night, where we put out our October appreciation for our patrons. Because once again, that's something that we're working on in the background for all of our patrons. We have a lot of like really interesting things coming for you guys. And again, we only have like 2 or 3 weeks left until 2024, so a lot of this stuff has to get wrapped up. So you guys are gonna know a lot more about what's going on with not only the Patreon, but a couple of end of the year events as well. So lots of really good stuff coming. But definitely go show our Patreon some love and definitely go check out the October appreciation. You'll see November go out this month as well as December, so stay tuned for those as well. But that takes us into Monday today, actually. So here we are live December 11th, 2023, episode 151. Let's talk about what's coming up on the Music Mondays podcast over the next week or so. We're going to do a little bit of community feedback. I believe we're on volume 7, I think, of community feedback. So a couple of really, really cool stuff that we have to get done before we get into some reactions. But let's get into it. So what's coming up on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so? What's going down? Where are we at? How's it going? Let's see here. So per usual, Music Mondays is on the hunt for exclusives. So if you're interested in having a unreleased SoundCloud track hosted on our SoundCloud and promoted across all of our social medias, definitely get in contact with us because we'd be happy to have that conversation with you. Not only to just have another way to promote the Music Mondays community, but to build our SoundCloud library, kind of build up an archive and really show our supporters over on SoundCloud a little bit of love as well. So if you're interested in getting a SoundCloud exclusive track hosted by us, definitely get in contact and send us a message. And of course, that goes for YouTube uploads as well. So if you're interested in getting a YouTube upload, like a visual, music video, lyric video, even audio, if you're interested in getting any of that uploaded on our channel of over 200 subscribers, definitely let us know. Because again, we'll be happy to have that conversation with you. Definitely. So, let's see here. So that takes care of SoundCloud exclusives, but one more thing that we do have to talk about is recruiting. We're actually in talks with a couple of new potential staff members right now. So hopefully you'll see some new faces on the Music Mondays team this upcoming week. But per usual, if you're interested in joining the Music Mondays team, we are interested in writers, journalists, designers, curators, media personalities, content creators, people that want to do short form and long form content, things like that. So definitely get in contact with us if you're interested in joining the Music Mondays staff team. We have a wide variety of roles, and we're always willing to kind of teach the new guys, whatever they want to learn, right? Because not everybody is going to be as sharp as some of us are. So definitely get in contact with us if you're interested in joining the Music Mondays staff team, or if you want any more information on Music Mondays staff roles. We actually have a really, really fantastic video on our channel, kind of detailing each staff role, what they consist of, and things like that. So definitely get in contact with us and let us know if you're interested in joining the Music Mondays staff team. So that takes us to today. Like I said, December 11th, 2023. We're gonna do some community feedback this week, so we only have 2 more shows on the Music Mondays podcast for the rest of the year. So this is gonna be pretty crazy because I think the last show of the year is gonna be the one where we do the Music Mondays awards. So realistically, we only have 1 show left. So I have like 1 or 2 things that I want to bang out before 2024, and community feedback number 7 is one of them. So for those of you that don't know, we are doing community feedback tonight, which essentially the majority of you guys know that we always have a discussion segment here on the show, really detailing everything from underground tips and tricks, tutorials. We kind of talk about underground politics, independent music. We have a lot of interesting discussions here on the show, depending on what's going on around the time. We've pretty much spoken about a lot. Again, all that's detailed on our channel, so definitely go check out our channel. But this week, aside from everything that we do have scheduled here at Music Mondays, we are also very, very interested in the community's feedback, right? So we're always interested in community feedback, and that's what this is, community feedback number 7. So for those of you that are interested in kind of seeing anything specific on the Music Mondays channel, anything you want to see here on the show, such as guests, you want to see us or me talk about tips and tricks and things like that, you want us to get somebody on the show to talk about something, that'd be also really, really fantastic. So we're always open to ideas, critiques, feedback, and things like that. So definitely let us know what you want to see on the Music Mondays podcast and on Music Mondays in general, right? It doesn't even really have to be show or video related. But if you have any topics that you'd like us to really dive into here on the show, other things you'd like us to see dive into in 2024, and once again, some guests you'd like to see on the show, definitely let us know. Definitely. Drop us a message, drop us a comment, and things like that. Because again, we have a decent schedule planned for you guys, right? Like we have plenty of content to kind of filter out for all of you guys, but I always want to get the community's feedback and kind of really detail what you guys would like to see here on the show, right? Because we are like a very loose style of podcast. We're very much like a reactionary podcast than we are like a talkative podcast. But I do make an effort to actually like um, do a lot of talking segments here on the show, just to kind of separate the reaction content to like the discussion conversational content, right? So if you'd like to see us talk about anything here on the show, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a tweet. Of course, this will be uploaded on YouTube, so definitely drop a comment. Definitely just let us know anything from underground tips and tricks, right? It could be something as simple as how to's or what should I do here. We've spoken about shit like fake playlists, labels, um, so many other things like that. You know what I mean? So, really just let us know, and definitely send us a message, drop a comment, and we'll be happy to actually take your feedback. So, of course, that'll be up on the channel, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I think we're literally one sub away from 230, so definitely let us know what you'd like to see here on the show, and huge shout out to all you guys over on the YouTube side of things. Let's get it. So, that brings us to a little bit of reactions and reviews, my friends. So, let's pause a little bit of music here. Let's switch over and let's see what we got. So, um, let's see here. So, I don't believe we have any Patreons tonight that are currently active. Everybody who's currently active on the Patreon did not submit tonight, so a little bit of a scattered crew, but nonetheless, we have a stack of community submissions for you guys tonight. So, just to double check, I want to make sure that I was right. Yeah, I was right. Okay. So no current Patreons at the moment, but that's fine. That's all good and dandy. But let's talk about submissions. How do you submit to Music Mondays podcast? What are the details? Things like that. The majority of you guys know the drill with Music Mondays, but if you don't and you're new here, we're gonna break it down for you. A little quick intermission there. So we were just about to talk about submissions here. So let's break it down. Let's talk about it. How do you submit to the Music Mondays podcast? Let's get into it. So, as I was saying, artists and creatives submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays live on December 11th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Twitch.tv/ZonPlays. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creation, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So, as many of you know, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to everything here on the show, from obviously music, instrumentals, music videos, lyric videos, merchandise, designs, photos, YouTube edits, montages, you name it, we've literally reacted to it here on the show. So just keep that in mind when you are submitting. Feel free to submit whatever you'd like. If you're an independent artist, you're a underground creative, definitely let us know. And always feel free to submit to the show, 100%. So, of course, 4-hour show limit, that was implemented, I think, about halfway through the year or so. We do have a 4-hour show limit, so again, that's just to make the show a little bit more palatable. And we are a weekly live show, one of the only weekly live shows So just keep that in mind. That just takes a little bit of pressure off of us here at Music Mondays, and again, it makes the show a little bit of palatable to watch back, right? Um, even one could argue that a 4 hour show is um still kind of long, right? But at the end of the day, that's a little bit better than the 5, 6, 7 hour shows that we used to do like very early on, like episode like 100 and shit. So that's the deal with that. And of course, you must be following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. That's the only thing that we do ask, because submissions are always free. They always have been. They always will be free. Um, so again, that's the only thing that we do ask, is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter before you submit, just to not only help grow our community, but just to pay respects to everybody else that does follow Music Mondays and does submit every single week. And of course, our Patreon subscribers submissions played first each week, because once we kind of implemented the 4 hour show limit, I knew that it was um there were going to be times where we weren't able to really go through every single submission, right? Especially when we get upwards of like 30 to like 40 submissions some weeks. So that was like a really big part of that. We wanted to make sure that we gave creatives an opportunity to kind of, guarantee their submissions to be played, and really make sure that everybody like that wanted their submission to be played absolutely got them to be played. So again, if you're subscribed to any tier of our Patreon, we have something called the Music Money's Fast Pass, where essentially with the Fast Pass, for the duration that you're pledged to our Patreon, you can submit to the show every single week, and you're guaranteed to be played first before the rest of the community submissions. But that's just one of the perks over there on Patreon. We have a lot of stuff over there going on for our multiple tiers. So if you're interested in the Music Money's Patreon or the Music Money's Fast Pass, definitely go check out our Patreon. And of course, always show our patrons some love. So, that about breaks that down. Um, I would say the only other thing that we do have to talk about is submissions do close a little bit before the show starts. So essentially, you have about 6.5 to like pretty much 7 days to submit to the show. So just keep that in mind. Because we are a free flow show, so we don't want somebody to come in and kind of be like, "Yo, you guys taking submissions?" And we're kind of like going through like a steady order, and people are waiting for their submissions and things like that. So it helps keeps the show free flow and really in order. So again, you have roughly about like a week or so to submit to the show every single week. Um, so that's pretty much it. To be honest with you, that's like the last like major crucial detail. Submissions do close, like a couple hours before the show starts, depending. Um, a good rule of thumb is if the show is live, submissions are obviously closed, right? So it's a very very important part about that. Um, but outside of that, I think that's about everything. And of course, submissions open every Tuesday. So if you're watching live, submissions open tomorrow. If you're watching on YouTube, submissions are already open. So go find the submission tweet and feel free to drop your links and portfolios or your tracks or anything like that. Um, definitely do so. But let's hop right into this, my friends. Let's go. So I'm ready to dive into some community submissions here. Absolutely. So, up first, which is actually kind of surprising. I don't think Braden's ever gotten first when it comes to the community submissions, right? Because obviously we just do all the patrons of the week first, right? But yeah, this is kind of like a rare first submission. I can't remember the last time that we've actually kicked off the show with Braden, so this will be cool. But they submitted a collab song titled Die Rich. Now, for those of you that don't know, Braden, a super talented alternative vocalist, had a really solid 2023. Let's see what we have this week from the homie Braden. I am absolutely down. So, Braden's been on a roll, so I'm definitely excited to see what we have here. Let's see. It was like taking a while for that art to like pop up. That was fucking weird as fuck. Hottest, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on in. Happy Monday, my friend. Welcome. Um, so let's get into it. Braden, Die Rich, let's go. It's gonna be a banger, I know it. Mix is insane.
She want me to insert it like a disc, I got way too many options, I might pick that chick, she don't fuck with me, it is what it is, cause if you know me, I don't care about a bitch, I know that they cannot afford a stick, I don't really care cause he got bitch, if I'm dying, then I'm dying rich, I feel like I'm dying lit, I got songs in the vault, they want it on demand, they didn't fuck with me till I was the fucking man, I got drugs on me, I got me some contraband, I met this shorty, we went to her house and then we slammed, bitch I'm versatile, bitch I ain't average, you was tryna switch up on the gang and I ain't having it, don't fuck with me or my gang, we be savages, we gon' rob them in a parking lot, where his cabbages, eating so green on my go, my brother done said I'm slow, hop in a whip and I fly UFO, niggas flipping my money I know, these people they call when I'm fine, I hop in a whip and I'm feeling the ride, and this girl she looks so fine, you drink the wine, can't tell me to be me I can't, I niggas fresh out they calling my fans, I'm broke and I drive in a van, my niggas be feeling like Kevin Durant, I told them we win we clap, they're eating green eggs I can, and I told them we cool my slime, she want me to insert it like a disc, I got way too many options, I might pick that chick, she don't fuck with me, it is what it is, cause if you know me, I don't care about a bitch, I know that they cannot afford a stick, I don't really care cause they got bitch, if I'm dying, then I'm dying rich, I feel like I'm dying lit,
Okay, okay. I definitely see what Braden meant by like kind of like a hype track, right? But I like when Braden goes hype like that, man. Like a lot of these hype tracks are really nuts by Braden. But um, let's talk about it, man. Let's break this one down. So, um, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Die Rich. So, um, let's talk instrumental. Braden's very versatile when it comes to the instrumentals that they not only choose, but like what they can do on them as well, right? I feel like Braden just has such a wide horizon of types of instrumentals that they can confidently use. And this one's no different. Definitely not. But let's talk mix. So the mix is fantastic. Actually, it was kind of crazy because the song popped on and I was kind of like, holy shit, because the mix was it was really super crisp. It like I don't think it was like overly loud. I just thought it was like really clean. Like it was a very like clean, very wide kind of mix. So I didn't have any gripes with it at all. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Um, Drums were solid. Sound selection was solid, nice and level. Nothing that kind of like jumped out at me, you know. So, instrumental mix definitely solid. Instrumental Shining Star. I like the melody, but the drums kind of really did it for me. Um, just because of like the rhythm and more so the sound selection of the drums. I like the 808 a lot for sure. This producer definitely killed it. Definitely. Um, so instrumental solid. Definitely the drums are the shining star. Um, let's talk vocals here. So definitely an interesting collab, but again, Braden always kind of makes any collab work. I've yet to hear a collab from Braden with pretty much anybody that sounds a bit off. You know what I mean? And this is definitely one that like right on the money for sure. But vocals are solid. Nothing clashing too overbearing. The vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Everything cuts through nicely. Nothing that's like overly crazy on this one either. Definitely right where it needs to be. But Braden's usually really consistent with their vocal mix, so not really a surprise, but something you always want to point out, right? Um, so vocal shining star. Um, I like everybody's flow and cadence on this. I feel like there was enough of like a variety and whatnot. But I feel like the thing that really stuck with me by the end of the song was the hook. Braden's a really fantastic writer, and really performer when it comes down to like certain hooks. And this was one where I could feel like you could just easily get this stuck in your head. You know what I mean? 100% you could. Like no question, no question. Definitely the hook, definitely the hook. But I do feel like flow and cadence is like a close second. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Braden's been kind of switching up the aesthetics, and I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. I don't mind the switch up. You know what I mean? This one's kind of a good choice as well, just because it's a little bit like chaotic, like the track is. But I definitely like this one a lot. Solid single choice, definitely. Um, but as I said, it's always good to just switch it up every once in a while, right? I don't think it's a bad thing to like take like consistent art and really just kind of be like, ah, you know what? Let's just do some crazy like one-off shit. I definitely don't think that's a bad thing at all. Um, so aesthetics on point, overall theme. Um, hmm, overall theme here. Now, there's definitely one it has a theme, right? But it's not like a theme that needs much like thought, right? Because much like Braden said in the original submission, it's just more of like a hype kind of turn up song, right? But I definitely think they did a good job kind of expanding upon what Die Rich and like the overall meaning of this actually is, right? Especially Braden in the hook. I definitely feel like it's like, okay, there's a little bit of like interesting substance to this. So I think they did a good job taking like a simple concept and really like expanding upon it the best way that they can without like over exaggerating it, right? I definitely don't think it was like over exaggerated at all. But well done, my friend. Well done. Thank you so much for the submission, Braden. Make sure you follow Braden on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Braden on Twitter. They are 9 followers away from 60. Go show them some love on the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 230 subscribers, man. We are one sub away. We're at 229. Go show the channel some love, man. And of course, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the channel, man. So go show these artists in the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. So, we just left off with the homie Braden, and actually up next is the homie TDG. I think TDG took like a couple weeks off, and they're back with another submission. And TDG, a very, very talented hip hop vocalist and producer as well, submitted a track titled "I Wish I Could Tell You." I wish I could tell you, but it's not that simple. Proud by me, the best beat of the year, no cap. That's a crazy statement from TDG because we've heard some heat from TDG. I'm not gonna lie to you, like we've definitely heard some heat. So it's kind of like like kind of a bold statement, man. Kind of a bold statement. I'm not gonna lie, but um, let's get into it because I'm definitely interested. TDG, I wish I could tell you. Right, right, right. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely of yours, but still, definitely, absolutely agree. Not all time. Insane. switch up is crazy. Okay, this is definitely up there for sure. Like as far as like everything we've heard from TDG this year, definitely up there. It's no question up there for sure. Gotta be. Um. All right. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm definitely excited to hear the final though. I'm definitely excited to hear the final for sure. Um. But we are going to talk about two things, obviously, because no vocals yet. But we're going to talk about the instrumental, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of I Wish I Could Tell You. Especially with the lyrics, we could dive into the theme a little bit more as well. Um, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. So, um, let's talk instrumental here. Um, Mix is fantastic. Mix is absolutely fantastic. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Everything's nice and level. I like the sound selection a lot with it. The sound selection was definitely going to be important for an instrumental like this. I feel like TDG definitely hit the mark, kind of picking certain drums and really like not overdoing it when it comes to sounds as well. I feel like everything's placed really nicely with this one. Um, but the mix is right where it needs to be. Because, like I said, nothing clashing, nothing too overbearing. Everything kind of hits really, really hard. Everything knocks really, really hard, but not like too much mud or anything like that. It really hits the mark. For an instrumental like this, for sure, definitely. Especially when you consider like everything going on in this instrumental. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, mix fantastic. Um, Instrumental Shining Star. Now, this could be a couple of things, right? Because, like I said, I really like the drums. I'm big on the drums for sure. Um, the way that the melodies were utilized, though, is pretty crazy. And the structure and kind of how the outro and intro are definitely needs to be talked about as well. So there's a couple things here where I'm like, like this could go a couple different ways for like a true shining star of the vocals. Like really like I like a couple of or the instrumental I would say. I like a couple of things though. That's the problem. I'm kind of leaning towards structure though just because the structure definitely like the thing about instrumentals and instrumentals just by themselves, you can really tell a lot more about a beat without vocals. And sometimes beats become a little bit repetitive without certain vocals on them, or if they're just, created with like a lazy structure. But this one has a structure where it's always changing, it's always like redropping, it's always kind of like it's not switching up in an erratic way or like a way where I think it's like fucking crazy, but I definitely feel like it hits the mark when it comes down to um like progressing, but also kind of like getting the listener to get used to it. You know what I mean? So structure is like very important here with this one, and I think TDG definitely nailed the structure for sure. But drums are a close second. Melodies are definitely right behind it as well, for sure. But for me, definitely the structure. I like the structure on this one a lot, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Let's talk theme. EDG's been going for the more simple kind of covers, especially when it's like just kind of throwaway, just uploading the instrumental kind of deal. But I do find that TDG always hits the mark when it comes down to certain covers, right? Especially for this one in the caption. So like for an instrumental and just like a regular release, I definitely think TDG nailed it for sure. But overall theme, I mean, like assuming that these are going to be um the final lyrics and what's going to be performed, there's there's definitely an interesting theme here for sure. A very relatable one and a very like personal one. We've definitely heard TDG get a little personal over the course of the last year or so. Every now and again, we'll get like a really like more like personal kind of track, right? But this one kind of like really pushes the bar as far as like TDG really talking about some emotional like inside shit. And above all else, I think this is a theme that a lot of people can relate to, like a lot. And even going back to like the submission itself, wish I could tell you, but it's not that simple. And it 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 really is like about just that, right? I definitely feel like in life sometimes you meet certain people that um come into your life and just have these complex situations with. It's not as like cut and dry as like you'd want it to be or they'd want it to be, whether it is like a personal relationship or not, because this can happen with friends too. But I do feel like, certain situations just like really become more complex as they go deeper. And TDG's having a lot of uh, I I would say it's a little bit of like reflecting, but it's also just like really like getting that kind of feeling off your chest of like really um not knowing what to do, because even like referring back to the cover, like I feel like the quote here is like very telling of the whole track. um I wonder which way I ought to go. You know what I mean? So like I feel like that's a very like telling kind of quote, just because the track itself has the feel of like you don't really know which way to go. You don't really know how to take certain shit. And I feel like that's one of the more like relatable themes that we've gotten from TDG, because we know TDG can write all sorts of styles of music, but this is definitely one where I feel like we're gonna hear TDG put a lot of feelings to the recording, and I'm definitely excited to hear a final. I'm definitely excited to hear a final for sure. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to TDG. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Make sure you follow TDG on SoundCloud. They are one follower away from 990, and of course, make sure you follow TDG on Twitter. They're 2 followers away from 250. Go show TDG some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 230 subscribers, man. We are literally one sub away from 230. I believe we're at 29. So go check out the channel, sub if you like what you see. And like I said, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good stuff's available over there. So go show these artists in the channel some love. Get it, baby. And huge shout out to everybody that's already subbed to the channel, man. You guys are awesome as well. So we left off with the homie TDG. Up next, we have the homie Jordan Andrew. Now, Jordan, again, much like TDG and Braden, has had a stellar 2023, man. We're we're getting really close to the end of the year. Only like two Mondays left, and I believe Christmas is actually on a Monday this year. So obviously, we're definitely not going to do a show that day. So we'll probably switch that out for something, man. So we only got like 2 shows left. So when I think about Jordan's, 2023 in general, super, super solid. Super solid. But they submitted a track titled I Know. And Jordan said in their submission, I had this feeling that the last thing I submitted was already played on the podcast under a different name at some point, but I don't know really. But here's something else from early in the year. I mean, always cool to like have the same bet, right? I mean, it could have been, but I actually didn't get a chance to see it, but um if you had that gut feeling, it probably was. It probably was. Um So let's see here. Let's pop this open a new tab. And of course, for those of you who don't know, Jordan Andrew, a super talented alternative vocalist and producer, has submitted I Know. We could have everything I know. Prod Jordan. Okay. Let's get into it. 6 months ago too, so this is definitely like a little bit older. But definitely not too old, right? So let's get into it. Jordan, I Know. Let's go.
I know we could have everything. We could have everything. I know. We could have everything. I just try to get something. Still trying to spread my wings. I wish I had said some things. We could have everything. I just try to get something. I'm still trying to spread my wings. I know. We could have everything. We could. We could have everything. We could. I know.
That was some real ambient shit right there. That was some real ambient shit. Wow. So that was very much like the angelic side of Jordan. And really like pushing the alternative scale here for sure. So let's break this down. We're gonna talk about three things here. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of I Know. So, man. Oh boy. Um the instrumental is actually really fantastic on this. Like the instrumental is almost like a feature here for sure. But the mix itself is great. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Nothing that kind of like stood out to me that was a bit much. Um, Definitely a big fan of the instrument. Absolutely. Um, I like the drum selection. Smells were solid. Structure was solid. No gripes. No gripes at all. Um, but again, not really a shocker. But for something a little bit older as well, you're talking like 6 months ago. So, um, something you always want to consider, but not really a shocker. So the instrumental mix solid. Um, Instrumental shining star. Now, hmm, I like the drums a lot here. I like the choice of like a more like live drum than a little bit more like a processed drum. I thought that was a good choice. I like the melodies a lot. Structure definitely does it for me. There isn't really anything I dislike about this instrumental, if I'm being completely. Um, I feel like if I had to pick though, probably the structure, just because it's a little bit of like a longer, more like minimalistic instrumental. So I feel like Jordan did a good job really stretching it and really also kind of like um really versatile. So definitely the structure. Sure. Um hmm. let's talk vocals. So vocal mix is kind of interesting here because we've seen Jordan throughout the last year or so kind of really accomplish a couple different styles of vocals, right? We've seen them go from pitched vocals to kind of more raw and like softer vocals to a little bit more processed. So Jordan's definitely not shy to different styles of mixing, and this is another track where Jordan kind of proves that they can do multiple different styles. Especially when it comes down to vocals here, I felt like this is a more like ambient alternative, almost drain kind of like style. You know what I mean? Like real cloud, um, like hip hop. You know what I mean? Like it really gives that underground feel to it. Sure. So I'm big on the vocal mix, absolutely. Um, and Jordan's very versatile as it is anyway, so not really a shocker that they were able to kind of nail the style down as well. Um, so vocal mix fantastic. Um, vocal shining star is kind of interesting because writing's definitely up there, but I think the thing that really did it for me, truly, was the flow and cadence and delivery. I like the way that this was performed a lot. In terms of like this being like a super ambient yet like almost almost kind of like uh just very ambient and slow and very like almost peaceful almost, but there's some element of like lo-fi to this as well. So I'm gonna have to say delivery and flow and cadence just because of that. Like Jordan really leaned into the mood of this song. Like you can feel the mood of this song from the instrumental. You can feel the mood of this song from the vocals. So definitely the way that it's performed, super solid. Big on that for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. The song theme, aesthetics, fantastic cover. I mean, you guys know how I feel about the IRL covers, right? Always a safe bet. Always like look super sick. Even if you didn't want to do any editing, or if you just wanted to do some slight edits, I think either way they turn out really sick. So this was like a really like solid choice when it comes down to like um just a single cover, right? Um, overall theme, um, kind of interesting. It's like a more deeper theme for a relatively like simple track, right? Definitely feel like Jordan's kind of leaning towards like the whole like manifestation, but also like being self-conscious of like what the possibilities are with certain things in life and creating and just life in general almost, you know what I mean? um because Jordan didn't really need to say a whole lot for this theme to like actually make sense in my opinion. um the very like take what you get from it and leave the rest kind of track, you know what I mean? I think Jordan did a really good job leaving the listener with a little bit to think about, you know what I mean? So well done, well done my friend. Huge shout out to Jordan for the submission. Much love. Make sure you follow them on SoundCloud. They are literally 2 followers away from 80, man. Go show them some love. And of course, make sure you follow Jordan on Twitter. They're 7 followers away from 360. Go show Jordan some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 230 subscribers on the main channel, my friends. So make sure you go show the channel these artists some love. And we do upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, segments, and a whole lot of good stuff is available on the channel. So go show these artists and the channel some love. Get it, baby. So we left off with the homie Jordan, and up next we have the homie Offspring Mysterious, man. Let's get it. Another artist that has had a really solid 2023, a different fashion, right? Offspring has really destroyed the upload game. They've really done so well, kind of expanding upon their YouTube channel and really incorporating a lot of their like creative aspects into other creative aspects, right? This is an artist that really knows how to blend all aspects of what they create. No question, no question. But Offspring submitted another edition of music art titled Hypnosis. Let's see what we got here, man. Pop this open, a new tab. Blam blam. Thank you, ma'am. Let's pause it right quick. No, wait. Pause. Um, Here, let's go full 1080. Volume up this. Oh, wow. 8 months ago. So this is definitely from like the start of the year. This is definitely one we missed for sure. Um, Solid description as well. Links to the bottom per usual. A little bit of love in the comments. All right. I'm down. I'm down with it. Let's get into it. Offspring Mysterious, music art, hypnosis. Let's go. Okay. Damn. Alright. I see. I see. See, that was a hidden gem right there. Now let's take a look at this track that was used here for sure. So yeah, we definitely have a more older Offspring track here, but nonetheless, this is one where it's like, okay, I definitely feel like Offspring did a really good job, kind of lining up a proper visual for this. If I'm being completely honest with you, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So um, we're gonna talk about the instrumental itself, and we're gonna talk about the addition of music art. So let's talk instrumental. Um, Mix is fantastic. You know, most Offspring mixes are really fucking solid. You know, over the last like year plus, there really hasn't been many tracks where I felt that Offspring had a little bit of an off mix, especially for like even older tracks. Um, yeah, no gripes with the mix at all. Nothing clashing, nothing too overbearing. Drums are solid, sound selection solid. Um, Everything's nice and level. Structure solid. Definitely no gripes with the instrumental mix like at all. No, no way. Um, Definitely right where it needs to be. Instrumental shining star is kind of interesting. Um, so I like the drums a lot, but as the track kind of went along, right? I think the melody kind of grew on me for whatever reason. Um, for some strange reason, I just feel like the melody really kind of nailed it for me. Maybe it was just like the simplicity and like repetitiveness of it, but for some reason the melody kind of stuck, you know. So definitely the melody, but the drums are a close second. Drums are definitely a close second. Um, so the instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk music art. So um, this is really the definition of more is less, right? And this is one where I think Offspring kind of really like hit the mark when it comes down to making a really simple but super solid addition of music art. Because I don't think they needed to go super crazy here, but I think a lot of the more rememberable parts about this are from post production, right? So a lot of Offspring's editing, a lot of the kind of like directing and like overall idea of this is kind of really where the juice lies for me, to be honest with you. Because a lot of the post editing was super super solid. But I think the shining star here with this edition of music art has got to be the editing, no question. The concept itself is solid, but the way that Offspring kind of filmed multiple angles and really had like a lot of solid cuts and chops here was really nice, to be honest. So, like I said, more is less sometimes, and this is really like how it can turn out, and why it kind of matters sometimes. So, well done, my friend. Well done. Make sure you go show Offspring some love on YouTube. Offspring is 4 subs away from 140. And of course, make sure you follow Offspring Mysterious on Twitter. They're 6 followers away from 920. Go show Offspring some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Monday channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 230 subscribers, man. We're about 1 sub away, so we'll show these artists in the channel some love, man. We already have. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Offspring Mysterious, thank you as always. Thank you as always for your submission, my friend. Let's fucking get it, baby. Let's go. So, we left off with the homie Offspring. Up next is the homie Ize. Now I believe this is a first time submitting artist. This is definitely not an artist that we've reacted to here on the show before, but they might have made a SoundCloud Sunday. Possibly. But nonetheless, they submitted a track titled She Wolf. Let's see what we got here. So obviously, first time submitting artists, we're gonna go in super blind. And we have no idea what to expect. So looks like this is a collab between Sean and Ize, so I'm definitely down. Let's get into it. Okay. Okay. That was definitely interesting, man. That was definitely interesting. Obviously, first time submitting artist, so you never know what to expect. But this one kind of like this one was pushing like the experimental boundaries a little bit for sure. So definitely, much to talk about, much to talk about here. So, um, let's break this one down, man. Let's talk about it. So we're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of She Wolf. So, let's talk instrumental. Solid, to be honest with you, very, very solid. I like the choice. This producer definitely did a really, really good job with this instrumental. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums are amazing. Vocals sit nicely. Instrumental. Nothing kind of doing too much. Drums cut through nicely. Absolutely. Um, Nothing that kind of struck me as like odd or anything like that. Definitely a really solid mix. Definitely. Especially when you consider like how clean it was and like how wide. Yeah, absolutely. Super, super fucking solid. Um, hmm. Instrumental Shining Star. I like the drums a lot because it's bringing that like fast paced like alternative pop sound, but the melodies here are really really crazy. Like the sound selection on a lot of this is nuts, but the melodies kind of did it for me, man. Melodies really really did. Um, Absolutely the melodies, but the drums are for sure 100%. So the melodies is Shining Star, the instrument. Let's talk vocals. Um, vocals. Okay, so a vocal mix. Kind of an interesting mix, right? It brings that element of like dance, alt pop, and a little bit of like just somewhat of like an experimental mix, right? But it brings that almost like raw feel still, which is kind of interesting. But I think the vocal mix across the board was definitely solid. These two have like a really solid dynamic together. So I definitely feel like they sound good as a duo. Absolutely. Um, but the mix definitely solid. Again, nothing clashing to overbearing. Instrumental cuts through nicely. Everything sits nicely. Everything's nice and level. Nothing that kind of like jumped out at me. So vocal mix definitely solid. Um, Vocal shining star. Um, Probably the flow and cadence and delivery. It kept up with that like alt pop like cyber pop kind of feel almost, but it almost had this like dance R&B vibe to it as well. So like flow and cadence and delivery really kind of like uh really like separated itself, to be honest with you. It was definitely a redeemable quality of these vocals, no question. No question for so definitely flow and cadence and delivery. Um the vocals are solid. Let's talk theme here. So aesthetics. Aesthetics are kind of interesting. Um I definitely do feel like this is like a darker, almost like goth pop kind of track. Somewhat like it just has this like alt pop kind of feel. So I like the direction of like almost like VHS slash like trail cam kind of look. You know what I mean? Like I think they did a good job, really like pushing that boundary of like late night underground kind of like club track for sure. So I'm big on this cover. I think whoever designed this did a really fantastic job, and I like this cover like a lot. Especially for this track though, it hits the vibe like right on the head, like no question, no question. So aesthetics on point. Now this is kind of an interesting theme, right? Overall, I think they talk about a couple different styles of really personal relationships, love at sometimes, and really ultimately like the fear of love. You know what I mean? There's a couple of different like important aspects touched on throughout the track, so I feel like you could resonate with a couple different like sections of this track. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be one of those songs where there's something for everybody. Because if you don't resonate with the lyrics, you're definitely gonna resonate with um the sonic parts of this track as well, right? The instrumental, you're gonna move, flow and cadence. So there's a lot of parts about this that if you didn't relate to the lyrics, I think you'd be able to behind it for sure. well done, my friend. Make sure you follow Isaiah on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They're approaching 630. They're literally 5 away. Go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 230 subscribers on the Music Mondays channel, my friends. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some motherfucking love. And like I said, we upload every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good stuff available. So go show these artists and the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it, Lotus. Hope you're well. Let's go. Let's go. But up next, we have the homie DK Bangers. Now, DK Bangers actually submitted for the first time last week, and they had a really crazy R&B track. So I'm definitely excited to see what they have this week. But they submitted a track titled "Easy to Love." Now, I believe this is from the same project that we listened to last week's track on. I believe. Okay, yeah, so we did For the Money. And this week they submitted Easy to Love. So we did track 6, now we're gonna do track 4. I'm definitely down. Let's get into it. DK Bangers, Easy to Love. It's gonna be crazy.
Need your love and affection. Loving me, I need patience. Cause I'm not easy to love. I'm not easy to love. But I need your love and affection. I need your love and affection.
The instrumental definitely sets the stage for like a really good dance, almost club like kind of track, right? But when it comes to the mix, absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? Much like the first track, super super fucking tight and well done. Nothing clashing at all. Vocals sit nice. Drums are super solid. Sound selection is fucking amazing. Like I have no gripes with the. I could kind of tell by the first track that this was gonna be a very like well-rounded project, but this track kind of like really solidified that idea for me. So, not really a shocker, but something you always want to point out, right? So the instrumental, absolutely solid. As far as the mix goes, instrumental Shining Star. Now, I really like the drums and the sound selection was perfect. It has like a lot of like a good percussion sound selection, but it also has a good like overall drum selection with. But I think the thing that really did it for me though was the melody. It really set like the dance kind of mood. You know what I mean? It really did. So, definitely the melody for sure. Um, so the instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals here. Um, vocals. So again, much like the first track, vocals are fantastic. Again, nothing classic to overbearing. Has just the right amount of processing. Everything cuts through nicely. Vocals sit nicely in the instrumental. Nothing that really like stood out to me as like kind of off-putting or anything like that. Vocal mix is definitely right where it needs to be. No question. No question. Um, Vocal Shining Star, on the other hand, I like flow and cadence a lot. All right, I like flow and cadence and the performance a lot, but I think the hook is probably the biggest part that's gonna get stuck in a lot of people's heads. Is probably the hook. I'm not gonna lie, the hook is very very catchy. The hook on the last track was catchy. Um, this is clearly an amazing group of writers, right? This is definitely not uh a duo of artists that just started making music. You know what I mean? This is a very refined kind of sound. So definitely the hook. Definitely the hook for sure. Um, so instrumental solid. Definitely the melody. Vocal solid. Definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. So I spoke a little bit last week about the Heartbreak Season cover, and much like I said, sometimes the more like minimalistic, IRL kind of pictures go really hard for certain kinds of covers and projects and things like that. But for a full collab project, I think this is solid, right? You kind of got like the half image going on here, and then like Heartbreak Season top. It definitely screams collab project to me, and I definitely like this choice. Simple but like very effective for sure. Um, Overall theme of Eat Love. So, relatively simple, but again, probably a theme that a lot of people relate to, right? You know, as you grow older, you become wiser, and unfortunately, a lot of the like keys to being wise come from dealing with trauma and problems and um emotional hardships and just hardships in life, right? So sometimes that'll lead you to these feelings of like uh being like jaded almost, right? Or being like damaged, for the lack of a better word. So when you go to like try to progress through life after certain events or just certain aspects of life beating down on you, sometimes it can be a little difficult to enter like new relationships, new aspects of life with the baggage of yesterday. So I definitely think that this is one of those more like lighthearted tracks that can touch on a more like serious kind of theme. So I definitely don't think it's a sad track by any means, but it's definitely like a very relatable theme when it comes down to like actually what this means, right? So well done. Well done. Huge shout out to DK Bangers. Make sure you follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow DK on Twitter. They're approaching 860 followers. They are 3 away. Go show them some love in the bird at, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 230 subscribers, man. We are literally one sub away. We're at 229 from 230. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. And of course, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, elusive segments, and a whole lot of good stuff's available over there on the channel. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. So we left off with homie DK Bangers, and up next we have Dry My Eyes. Now, Dry My Eyes is definitely an artist that has made several editions of SoundCloud Sunday. They definitely frequent SoundCloud Sunday for sure, but I believe this is one of the first times that they've been on the show. If they have, it's been quite some time since they've been on the show. So I'm definitely excited to see what Dry My Eyes has for us. But like I said, they submitted a track titled Damnation. Let's see what we got here. So pop this open, a new tabaroonie. Pause this right quick. 7 days ago, so super new. A little bit of lyrics in the description as well. Okay. Okay. A little bit of love in the comments. All right, let's see what we got here. Dry My Eyes, Damnation. Let's go.
Let go of your frustration. Crappy ass bitch, crustacean. Damnation. Only place I ever seem to make it epic. Rolling up another joint. Never do enough. So sorry. If I like you, I'll take you. Walk into the painful. Lost underway. Life is going great, yeah, I can't complain. Toss and lay low. Understand loss, yeah, I take those. Heart still aches, so I may grow. Curse in the ashes, wait, no. I don't even know, but I can't care. Crush another bull, never say fair. catch up by surprise, bro. Getting by, still got bloody blessings in a pile. Over my getting up high under my oh my god. Spinning that vibe with a smile. What you want? Need another plate at the restaurant. Special ball, they don't know a thing. That's how matches on. On the lawn, whole damn nights on the grass alone. I'm not feeling my new ass, I'm just feeling on the flow. Let go of your frustration.
Damn.
Crabby ass bitch, frustration. Damnation. Only place I ever seen to make it out there. Rolling up another joint. Never do enough, so I'm sorry. If I like you, I'll take you. It's hard to tell you away, but just stay true. Let go of your frustration. Crappy ass bitch, frustration. Damnation. Only place I ever seen to make it out there. Rolling up another joint. Never do enough, so I'm sorry. If I like you, I'll take you. It's hard to tell you away, but just stay true. Crash into the frame, but the play flow. Stash away, what's another day? Wanna play small K2. Couldn't feel my senses, now I'm able. Hey bro, didn't mean that session, hope you stay cool. Run away, head out to the passage, should I flood the shade? Heard the rain, didn't check the message, I hope that's okay. One more day, shade, shit and frame. Make my body taste, all these flame wasted a base. Put my heart in taste, I don't wanna cut a cast. Why'd you force my hand? Must I always give my best? I don't understand, doesn't force my lid, I gave my legs out when I had a chance. Once inside the stand, I never planned this shit, just turn the fan. I might make 100 flags, but no rubber bands. All my bitches in the grass, once I'm on the dance, I turn the hands, I don't legs, I don't want no mess. Call me scared, show no wish, turn on in my flash. Let go of your frustration, crabby ass bitch, frustration. Damnation. Only place I ever seen to make it, and I'm making it. Rolling up another joint, never do enough, so I'm sorry. If I like you, I'll take you. It's hard to tell you away, but just stay true.
Okay, that was crazy. That was absolutely fucking crazy. So, much to discuss here, man. Much to discuss because wow. Definitely gives me like flashbacks of like older kind of like alternative um like loud underground stuff. Somewhat in like the vein of like 93, Batsy, certain artists like that. Yeah, much to discuss. Much to discuss. So, we're talking about three different things here. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of. So, let's talk instrumental. I mean, the mix is great, to be honest with you. Like, it has that gritty feel to it. Like, I saw a couple comments in there talking about the mix, but in my opinion, like, I feel like the mix is right where it needs to be in terms of, like, what Dry My Eyes was going for here, to be honest with you. I like the mix, in my opinion. Like I said, definitely right where it needs to be, because there's nothing clashing, there's nothing too overbearing, there's nothing that, like, kind of, like, sticks out that's, like, a little bit much. Vocals sit nice, absolutely. Drums cut through nicely. Everything's nice and gritty. No complaints. No complaints at all. Definitely no gripes. So instrumental mix definitely solid. Instrumental shining star. Probably the drums. I feel like the drums really kind of like hit that gritty, muddy kind of sound that I think Dry My Eyes was going for. I really like the drums on this for sure. But the melody's a close second, but the drums are like really up there. Really, really up there. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is great also. I think the autotune is like right. It's like adding this element of like grittiness, because it's not not being used here to like really like tune the vocals. Like it is obviously tuning the vocals, but it's a little bit more of like a stylistic choice here. So I do feel like it sits nicely, if I'm being honest with you. It goes well with like the grittiness of the instrumental and like how Dry My Eyes is like actually delivering their vocals. So I like the vocal mix. It's definitely more obviously on like the process side, but there's still like a natural element to this, especially when it comes to like the emotion in Dry My Eyes voice. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, the vocal mix, definitely solid, definitely solid. Vocal shining star. Like I said, probably the flow and cadence and delivery. To be honest with you, it was a really solid flow, and the cadence was there. But I think the performance and the overall delivery gave it that like emotional feel that I think this track really benefited from for sure. Um, so definitely vocal mix is like right up there along with like the flow and cadence and like it's all one package, but flow, cadence, and delivery and overall performance is um so instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the delivery and flow and cadence. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics, kind of an interesting shot here, right? It has that like Midwest emo feel to it a little bit, but not really. But also at the same time, it's like one of those IRL kind of covers that I always talk about. That's always like a safe bet, and are always like really solid when you use them. So I like this for like a one off single. Definitely a solid cover choice. Um, Overall theme. So I think Dry My Eyes spoke about a little bit of everything in this track, right? Um, you know, everything from you know people in their life to quite literally like self-reflecting to a whole lot of like roller coaster of emotion. You know what I mean? Like, but there's also a lot of like very interesting wordplay and rhyme schemes here. So I feel like there's going to be smaller themes to grab onto throughout this track, but the track itself is very much like almost the definition of damnation. But I think Dry My Eyes touched on a couple different themes here, and you could really like take this back home and really listen like a couple more times to really pick up on a few themes throughout the track. You know what I mean? It's definitely not like a one stop shop when it comes to like what this track means for sure. With that said, a huge shout out to Dry My Eyes. Thank you so much for this, friend. Much love. Make sure you follow them on SoundCloud. They are 8 followers away from 6. Show them some love in the cloud, man. And of course, make sure you follow Dry My Eyes on Twitter. They are literally 6 followers away from 20, man. Go show them some love with the bird app, man. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 230 subscribers on the main channel, my friend. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good stuff available over there on the channel, man. So go show these artists on the channel some love. If you already have, thank you. So you guys know what time it is, but if you don't, we are about halfway through the show. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Make sure you go get up, go stretch your legs, go get a drink, go get a snack, go walk the dog, go get a smoke, go do whatever you need to do. And when we return, we'll get right back into our community reactions and reviews. Stay tuned. Music Mondays episode 151. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with podcast 51. I hope you had a good week, but we're going to finish off the rest of the community submissions tonight. So, let's get right back into it, my friends. Let's see here. So, we left off with the homie Dry My Eyes, and up next we got the homie G. Now, it's been some weeks, probably maybe like a month or so, since we heard from the homie G. So, I'm definitely excited. This is a very, very talented alternative vocalist. They submitted a track titled Memories. Let's see what we got here. 2 minutes 19, December 3rd, so really new actually. Let's get into it. G, Memories. Okay. Okay. Now, I didn't know what I was expecting because G definitely has like a very emotional alternative sound, right? But this one, no question, like definitely fucking hits home. Definitely hits home. Definitely hitting the more like emotional side of things, right? But nonetheless, really well done. So, let's break this one down, my friends. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Memories. So, let's talk instrumental. Obviously, a way more of like a simple style of instrument. Uh, Besides for like the little bit of the outro, we have pretty much just one melody throughout the whole track, which um I think is perfectly fine for like this kind of track, right? It's one of those songs that is meant to really like hit home and really just um make you reflect a little bit. And with that said, the mix for this is fantastic. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Nothing that really like stuck out to me to be like a bit too much, right? Um, Vocals sit nice. Everything's kind of filling in plenty of space despite being like such a simple instrumental. Um, Really well done, to be honest with you. Really, really well done. Again, vocals sit nice. Everything cuts through nicely. No gripes with the instrumental at all. Um, hmm. So the mix is good. Mix is absolutely fantastic. Instrumental Shining Star. So I kind of want to say melody, but I do feel like the structure is really up there for me. I definitely feel like the structure is one of those that's like really, really doing it. Just because the intro and outro kind of have that little bit of a tweak to it, right? And it's not all um just one melody. So I do feel like structure is like a very like underrated part about this, 100%. So for that reason, I'm definitely gonna say structure for sure. Um, let's talk vocals. So vocals are fantastic. This is definitely an artist that has a wonderful natural voice, like for sure, like a really really solid natural voice. So besides like a little bit of processing, this is definitely like a very natural kind of mix, which I think easily hits the nail on the head when it comes to what this track needs, for sure, no question. Um, so vocal mix definitely solid. Again, nothing clashing to overbearing. Everything sits nice, goes through nice. I'm definitely solid on the vocal mix, definitely. Vocal shining star though. Probably writing. To be honest, writing throughout the whole track is like exactly what you'd expect for something called Memories, but I feel like G really kind of like hit home as far as like the nostalgia factor goes for a track like this. So definitely writing, but flow and cadence is right behind it for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely structure. Vocal solid, definitely the writing, 100%. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. What a cover! Like what a fucking cover. Um, definitely like more on the simple aspect of things, but also like really is very telling for a track titled Memory, right? Um, sometimes going down like a windy road, or going down like an old road that you used to drive down all the time, or road where it has like your childhood house or childhood memories. This one definitely like fits everything for this track for sure. So I like the art direction a lot, especially the text for memories here. Overall theme. Obviously, um, relatively simple theme, right? Um, really about memories and keeping memories, and you know, looking back on life and realizing that memories are some of the only things that are like forever. Um, a very simple but very important kind of track. Um, definitely one that feels good to just like put out on paper and really like get off your chest as well. This is definitely one of those tracks that's like very therapeutic to write and record and put out. So I think G did a really good job kind of hitting the mark for this. Definitely. So well done, my friend. Well done. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you follow G on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They are approaching literally 30 followers, man. They are 10 away. So go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 230 subscribers on the main channel, my friends. Make sure you go check out the channel and go show these artists some motherfucking love. And like I said, we upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good stuff's available over there, man. So go show these artists in the channel some love. So let's go. Continuing on, we left off with the homie G, and up next we have a first-time submitting artist and a former Music Mondays patron, the homie Basilisk, and they submitted a track titled Onion. Now, this is a first-time submitting artist, so we definitely don't know what to expect here. So, let's pop this open a new tab and see what we got here, because I am definitely down, my friends. Let's go here. So, all right. First time submitting artist, Basilisk, Onion. Let's go.
You can be beefy and big. You can be beefy and big like a bull's hard tomato. 100-pound fists, bigger than NATO, stronger than NATO. But be careful when you feast, you might end up in the ditch, because this little onion can make you cry like a bitch. Cry like a bitch, cry like a bitch. This little onion makes you cry like a bitch. Cry like a bitch, cry like a bitch. This little onion makes you cry like a bitch. Whining and moaning, whining and moaning, whining and moaning. So sad, whining and moaning, whining and moaning, whining and moaning. You can be so sad. You can be smart and sour like a swaggering lemon. You're wise like Moses, even wiser than Aaron. You take everything you want, cause people are stupid as shit. But you will cry like a pussy when this little onion you meet. Cry like a bitch, cry like a bitch. This little onion make you cry like a bitch. Cry like a bitch, cry like a bitch. Whining and moaning, so sad. Cry like a bitch, cry like a bitch. This little onion make you cry like a bitch. Cry like a bitch, cry like a bitch. This little onion make you cry like a bitch. Whining and moaning, whining and moaning, whining and moaning, so sad. Whining and moaning, whining and moaning, whining and moaning, so sad. Cry like a bitch, cry like a bitch. This little onion makes you cry like a bitch. Cry like a bitch, cry like a bitch. This little onion makes you cry like a bitch. As sweet as a cherry, you can be naughty and bright, but you know what's going on in the town late at night. Your life's still holding on an old and angry truth. When little onion will come, you cry, nothing will soothe. Bitch.
Bitch. Okay. What a track that was. Very, very interesting, man. Super, super experimental. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because wow. All right. We are gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Onion. So let's talk instrumental. A super, super heavy like drum, bass, somewhat of like super like experimental as well. There's a couple different feelings you get from this instrumental for sure. But nonetheless, the mix itself for what it is very solid, to be honest, when you consider everything that's going on in this and the different vocal styles and things like that. I definitely feel like the mix was right on point, to be honest with you. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that was really like throwing me off as far as the mix goes in the instrumental. Yeah, no gripes, especially for like such like a synth drum heavy kind of instrumental. This was solid. It's definitely solid. Um hmm. Instrumental shining star. Um Probably the structure, to be honest with you, because I find that when instrumentals get as like experimental as this one, um people tend to go overboard, right? And I feel like this one didn't. I feel like this one had at least like a decent structure and really had like a decent like layout in terms of an instrumental. So definitely the structure is really up there for sure. Um so instrumental solid, definitely structure. Let's talk vocals. So the vocal mix is good. The vocal mix is definitely good. It has a little bit more of like a raw approach to it, but still has some nice processing on it. And again, nothing clashing too overbearing. Nothing that really like was like overdone or like too much or anything like that. Definitely sits nice in the instrumental. Everything goes through nicely. Everything's nice and level. Nothing too crazy about the vocal mix at all to really note there. Um, Vocal shining star. Um, hmm. think I might go with structure as well, just because of the storytelling aspect of this is like really up there. And it wasn't just again super erratic and all over the place. There was some structure to this, so definitely the vocal structure as well kind of really formulated this song for me. Um, so yeah, instrumental solid, definitely structure. Vocals solid, definitely structure. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Kind of an interesting theme, right? Because we have like an onion foreground, but it's a little bit more of like erratic, um, like additions throughout the cover. Like this is one of those covers where the more you look at it, like the more you're really seeing in the cover. Um, so definitely hits the mark when it comes down to like um a track titled Onion. For sure it does. For sure it does. So definitely fits the bill. Art direction definitely solid. Overall theme, um relatively simple, right? I mean, a track about an onion is as broad as it gets, right? But also like, an onion kind of being symbolism for, X, Y, or Z, and how powerful onions can be when they actually like get you to cry and they have fumes and things like that. So it's a very interesting concept track for sure, and I think they did a good job executing it. Definitely. So with that said, make sure you follow Basilisk on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They're literally 7 followers away from 20, so go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 subscribers. Or no, 230, I'm sorry. We're literally one away, man. We're at 229, so go sub the channel if you haven't already. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good stuff's available over there. So go show these artists and the channel some motherfucking love. Let's get it, baby. So let's continue. We left off with the homie Bassie. Up next, we have the homie Cena. Let's get it. Now, Cena's an artist that submitted probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Something like that. But they're a super talented alternative vocalist. And this week they submitted a track titled Dancing. Let's get into it, my friends. Let's pop this open in a new tab, see what we got. So, wow, so this is from 2017. This is almost 6 years old. Holy. From the Purge project, Raw Unmasked. Okay. And they submitted Dancing, I believe? Yeah, they did, okay. Get into it. Cena, Dancing. Go.
I see you staring at my booty from across the room. I can tell you want me by the way you're drooling, boo. I see you looking at my boobies, bet you want us to get down and dirty. Don't you, Big Daddy? Well, if you want me, come and get me. I'll come get you. What I want, I get. You'll know that pretty soon. Now don't be shy, don't be that guy. Just come to me, I'll give you memories. We'll slide, we'll grind, we'll go down on each other. You touch me, breathe heavy. We'll lose ourselves together. We'll blow, take it slow. We'll reach the end together. You and me on the dance floor, dancing, baby. I ain't the type that you can charm with silly compliments. I'm attracted to a man who's got some confidence. I need somebody who can handle all the sexiness. No, I ain't modest. You know I got this. Well, if you take it, tell your girlfriend you'll be back at noon. Or it could be she's cool. Now don't be shy, don't be that guy. Just come to me, I'll give you memories tonight. Oh, Jack,
Okay.
till the sun comes up. Tonight, oh, Jack, till the sun comes up. Tonight, oh, Jack, till the sun comes up. We'll slide, we'll grind, we'll go down on each other. You'll touch me, breathe heavy. We'll lose ourselves together. We'll blow, take it slow. We'll reach the end together. You and me on the dance floor, dancing, baby.
Okay. That was really crazy, especially for like how old of a track this is, right? I mean, you're talking like 5, 6 years ago. This is like really fucking solid, like really, really solid. So, all right, all right, all right. Let's break this one down, man. We're talking about three things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of dancing. So, let's talk instrumental. Mix is fantastic. Again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums are solid. Vocals sit nice. Everything cuts through nicely. Nothing that I really noticed that I had any gripes with at all. I remember from the last track that they submitted, the instrumental was very solid as well. So not really a shocker. But something you definitely always want to point out. Hmm. Instrumental Shining Star. I like the drums, but I feel like the melody is definitely very impactful here. I definitely feel like the melody is really like what you're gonna remember from this track as far as the instrumental goes. And as soon as it cuts on, you're gonna know what song it is. So definitely the melody, for sure, definitely the melody. Um hmm. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, fan fucking tastic. Cine definitely has like a really good natural voice, so there's not too much like super crazy post processing on this. It's a very raw mix, and I think the song benefits from it. But again, nothing clashing too overbearing. Vocals sit nice, everything cuts through nicely, delivery's perfect. Definitely nothing that I had any gripes with at all as far as the as far as the vocal mix goes, for sure. Um, hmm. The vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. I like the hook a lot. The writing's definitely up there. The writing's really, really solid. But I think the flow and cadence and delivery is really what like solidified this as like a very solid independent R&B track. Like no question. No question. The flow, cadence, and delivery was really up there for me. Um so yeah. Hook, definitely a close second, but flow and cadence and delivery for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, flow and cadence and delivery. Talk theme here. So aesthetics. Now this is a full project cover, right? So um for what this is, with that in mind, super solid, right? Kind of has like the IRL effect going on, but it also has like that EP feel to it as well. A couple fonts on here. Project title down below. Like not much more you could really ask for, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes down to like certain visions people have for certain covers. This is one that I like a lot when it comes to like simplicity, but also kind of like being a memorable EP cover. So yeah, definitely solid aesthetics for sure. Um Overall theme, dancing, right? Relatively like obvious theme here when it comes to like an intimate, almost like love kind of style R&B track. I think Cine did a really good job. Um really like painting a picture for a listener to kind of envision and really like understand where she's coming from as an artist and as a writer. So I feel like she did a really good job kind of expanding upon the feeling of like wanting something tangible in a relationship and wanting something that's like more personal and intimate as well. I definitely think she did a good job really like expanding upon that, but also like painting it in a picture, right? It was really easy to envision like a lot of her lyrics. No question. No question. So well done, my friend. Make sure you follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow CNA on Twitter. They are 9 follows away from 450. Go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 230 subscribers, man. We're about one sub away. We're at 229. So go show the channel and these artists some love. And like I always say, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff about the channel, man. So go show these artists in the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Okay, chat. Our last submission of the night. The homie, Dome Lettuce, aka Dome, my latest song, Achilles. Now, this is a first time submitting artist, man. Definitely an artist we haven't had the chance to react to here on the show, but a relatively new Music Mondays community member. So I'm definitely excited to see what Dome has in store for us. Let's see here. So pop this open a new tab. Now again, first time submitting artist, so we don't know exactly what we're expecting. So let's see what we got here. Dome Lettuce Achilles. Let's go.
How you gonna drive with the light still on? Trying to do it right while my life's still wrong. Why I write these ill songs knowing nobody will hear them. Stone cold sober, I stay blowing O's until I'm searing. No one knows what I'm dealing with, think I'm probably hearing shit. Don't know if you're hearing this. Watching all my actions reflecting back like a mirror is. I visit the past and it tells me all the same shit that it ever has. My foot on the gas, all good on the grass. I was who I was, now I'm trying to move past it. Dropping nothing but classics, hoping to fill my soul. Sure doesn't pay no bills and yet I'm still killing it though. No one skillful with a goal to achieve. Casually rapping circles round these average rappers with no gold on my sleeve. I know I'm holding the key, I guess I can't find the door. Don't know what I'm hoping to see or what I'm fighting it for. You know I'm lighting up more when I be down on my feelings. Lately I've been feeling most grounded up on the ceiling. That's some real shit, it's not a punchline, it's what I deal with. My Achilles heel got me keeling over. Fiend for Doja, real exposure. Felt funny to say that I was lean and sober. Been trying to separate my plate like I was keeping kosher. Had to keep my wheels spinning, never was a decent coaster. My piece the most important thing that I could ever have. Catch me on the poster, no gloves, still I'm everlasting. Everybody always telling, but they never asking. Feeling locked into the process, how can you imagine? Me as anything but magic, shaking, collapsing. Under the weight of acid tablets, scraping to save the last of my brain. Feels like they all play in the sunshine while I'm trapped in the rain. Unable to take the reins, voice hoarse, back and forth, too unstable to make a change. Too unstable to make a last of my brain. Trapped in the rain, they all playing.
Okay. I see you, Dome. Okay. Like I said, definitely didn't know what to expect there, but pleasantly surprised for sure. Pleasantly surprised. Let's break it down, man. Let's talk about it. We're talking about 3 things here. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Achilles. So, let's talk instrumental, because this is a very like interesting instrumental choice. But it's solid nonetheless. The mix is fantastic. I like the drums on this a lot. The drums fucking knock really, really hard on this. But the mix itself is good. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Vocals sit nice. Not too gritty. Everything's nice and level. Nothing that really stuck out to me that I really had a gripe with, to be honest with you. So instrumental mix definitely solid. Definitely. Instrumental shining star, definitely the drums. I like the melody. It has that like classical feel to it, but the drums are really what kind of like really did it for me. Especially like the kick was crazy, man. Like a lot of the sound selection was really solid here, so definitely the drums for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocals, let's talk vocals. Definitely a very like raw vocal approach, which I don't think is a bad thing for Dome Lettuce and their voice. I think their voice definitely has a solid like natural effect to it. And I'm sure as Dome goes along, they're gonna like perfect their mix and really continue to elevate it for sure. But for what it is, very solid. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Vocals sit nice. Definitely mixed in well. Everything cuts through nicely. Drums are solid around it. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Yeah, no, like no gripes. Kind of thinking back on vocals, especially for like how like regular of a mix this is. Definitely solid. Definitely solid for sure. Um, vocal shining star. Um, I'm torn between two things, right? I think flow and cadence is definitely up there, but I think writing in general is really solid too. There's a lot of substance in these lyrics, right? And some of these bars and punchlines you're not going to get the first try, and some you will. But I feel like that's a very redeemable quality about the writing. But the flow and cadence is definitely up there too. So I don't know. Probably the writing, just because the writing throughout the whole track was interesting, to be honest with you. Very interesting. So I like the writing style. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So Achilles, and more specifically, you know, the phrase Achilles heel and how this matches the aesthetics. I mean, relatively solid cover choice, to be honest with you. Like relatively solid cover choice. Like I like the ode and like the simplicity to like the overall theme of the word Achilles. So definitely a simple but effective cover, no question. They're super solid there. Overall theme, I wouldn't say that Achilles has like one super standout overall theme. Because like I said, there's a couple of lines in here that'll easily go over your head, or there's a couple of lines in here that you're really gonna like instantly understand. But I definitely feel like this song came from somewhat of the heart, but it is also filled with a lot of like solid lyricism and punchlines. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like Dome went full blown like I'm gonna write a song about X, Y, or Z. But I definitely feel like they did a good job, kind of staying true to like the subject or the subliminal meaning of like Achilles and like having an Achilles heel and things like that. Um, Kind of mixed with like showing off their writing skills and their ability to actually like deliver solid writing, right? So it's a good mix between a couple different things. Well done, my friend. Huge shout out to Dome Lettuce. Thank you so much for this. Make sure you follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Dome Lettuce on Twitter. Dome is literally 2 follows away from 220, so go show him some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 230 subscribers, my friends. We are one away, literally one away. So go show the channel some love, go show these artists some love. And we upload 2 times a week, man. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good stuff available over there, man. So go show these artists and the channel some love. And of course, huge shout out to everybody that already has subscribed to the Music Mondays channel, man. Thank you, my friends. So that concludes the very first episode of season 4 of the Music Mondays podcast and episode 151. Let's fucking get it, baby. And again, huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted and came through tonight. So with that said, we're gonna close it out. We're going to talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. We're going to say our thanks to everybody that submitted tonight and everything else in between. So, let's get into it, my friends. All right, so with that said, and like I said, huge shout out to everybody that submitted and tuned in and showed motherfucking love tonight. Huge shout out to Braden, TDG, Jordan, Offspring, I say, DK Bangers, Drama Eyes, G, Basilisk, Cine, Dome, and everybody else that submitted tonight. Thank you, my friends. So, with that said, of course, per usual, huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love in the chat tonight, man. Huge shout out to Loudest Official, huge shout out to TDG, Offspring, and anybody else that came through and lurked and chilled and all that good stuff. Thank you. You guys are fucking amazing. I appreciate it. So, let's talk about what's coming up on Music Mondays over the next week or so, what we have coming, all that good stuff. So, lots of really, really good stuff coming this week. Expect a couple of new Music Monday staff members to be announced here on the roster relatively soon. You'll see a lot of new updates come through for not only our SoundCloud, but the YouTube channel, the Patreon, of course, written and other main Music Mondays pieces will be dropping this week. I think our main focus, though, for the next week or so is the Music Mondays Awards. So stay tuned for a little bit of updates when it comes down to that. And of course, per usual, if you're interested in submitting for episode 152 of the Music Mondays podcast, submissions open tomorrow. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at All Music Mondays. Follow us on all socials to stay up to date. If you're watching this on YouTube, submissions are already open, my friends. So make sure you go find the submission tweet and go drop your links. But only 2 more shows for the rest of 2023, man. So we got the Music Mondays Awards coming up. Have a whole lot of really important content we got to get done for the rest of the year. So again, make sure you follow us on socials at All Music Mondays, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. And of course, make sure you follow the channel. Follow, subscribe below, everything linked below, all the socials, all the good stuff. If you want to stream the Music Mondays podcast on the go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. Again, huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays patrons. You see them on screen right now. Huge shout out to Ryuki, Blank Thought, King Mark, and TDG. But with that said, submissions will be open tomorrow for episode 152. Like I said, if you're interested, again, follow us on socials. And again, follow the channel, all that good stuff, because we're live literally 6-7 days a week. And of course, the Music Mondays podcast is live every single Monday. So, with that said, submissions open tomorrow. My name is Zom Slays. You can follow me at Zom Slays. But with that said, that's going to do it for Music Mondays, episode 152. Huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love. We love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week for episode 152. And be safe. We love you guys. Take care. And we'll see you next week.